Hey, Michael with XForcePC. One thing you've probably heard about in the past is you don't want to statically charge or have a static discharge onto a computer component. And we've always been told, use a static, wrist strap, or make sure you ground yourself before you touch any memory or video cards or motherboards and so forth. So I've never knowingly damaged a component through static electricity. So what I decided to do, that I've never seen anybody do before, probably someone has, but I just haven't seen it, is to actually intentionally try to damage a component. So what I've got is a 1 gig stick of DDR3. So it's, a $15 piece of hardware. And what I've done is I've put it in a motherboard, and I've run it through mem test. As you can see, the pass completed with no errors. So now I'm going to take that same stick of memory and I'm going to statically discharge onto it. I know that sounds weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to power down this system, like I just did. I'm going to take out this stick of RAM, and then I'm going to see if I can ruin it or not. So we'll be back to find out. Alright, Michael with XForcePC, we're back to see if we can ruin our memory. So I've got the lights turned down because I want to see if you can actually see the static charge hit this stick of RAM. And I chose this stick of RAM, which is probably kind of hard to see because it's not in the light, but it doesn't have any heat spreaders on it either. So I have direct access to the chips on the memory slot. So what I'm going to do is take off this shirt that always produces vast amounts of static electricity. I'm going to turn the light off. You might actually be able to see the static hit this thing. Oh, wow. Could you hear that? Hopefully you could see that. Now we're going to see if the memory will work. Okay, Michael with XForcePC, you just got done watching me shock the heck out of this RAM. So now I am going to put it back in and see what happens when we turn the computer on. Alright, so I've got the RAM put back in, and we're going to try to fire this thing up. Alright, it's on. Let's see if we have... Yep, it comes up. So let's run our mem test. Alright, well, I'm not going to make you watch all this, but we're going to let the mem test run and see what happens. Okay, so in a fascinating turn of events, this memory that I intentionally shocked, that you could probably visually see the static coming off of my fingers, and it was a significant amount of static, completely passed. So I got to wonder, how important is all this, ground yourself, have a static, anti-static, wrist strap and all that. Makes you wonder. Now, I'm not brave enough to try this with a graphics card or a motherboard or a processor because those are expensive, but a $20 stick of RAM I was willing to do that with, and you would think RAM would be one of the more sensitive things with regards to static discharge, and I touched right on top of the chips and shocked them directly and nothing happened. So there you go.